Goes back, and I found this super interesting map of the world where you can see every single disputed territory. I thought I'd give it a go. First of all, you can see that almost every country has some sort of disputed territory. Mainly apart from Europe. Europe has like the least. I guess some of these countries probably just learned their lesson, you know, like certain countries they just learned that maybe you shouldn't try to expand that much more. Now let's click for the big countries to start off. Let's look at the US. What does the US dispute? What do they want? So first of all, the red shows the actual territory and the yellow shows what is disputed, and it's mainly islands. So I assume a lot of these places do not want to be Colombia. Okay, so the Americans, they claim a lot of these islands. Navassa Island, but I'd never heard of this place. A lot of islands here in Guantanamo Bay. Yes, and the Beaufort Sea Wedge. For whatever reason, this will be interesting to find out why exactly the US and Canada dispute this territory. Okay, the US is just mainly islands, as kind of to be expected. For example, let's look at France. What does France dispute? I probably assume a lot of islands too. Europa. There's an island called Europa. It's next to Madagascar and Mozambique. Okay. It's the main dispute areas for France is actually around Madagascar. It's quite interesting. With the Glorioso Island. Okay. Maybe let's just pick a country which will not likely have a lot of island disputes. Let's click on Greece. I'm just kidding. Greece is gonna just only have island disputes. Let's look at Russia. There might be a lot of them. Okay, so it starts off with an island. Oh, this island around Japan. Okay, can imagine that Japan maybe is not too happy if that belongs to Japan. What is it right now? Whose country is it? Okay, so it does belong to Russia. Interesting. Even though it's so close to Japan. But I mean, it's so close to Russia. But yeah, these areas here are quite disputed between the two. So we have the obvious big one for Russia, the Crimea. That's a big one. The Caspian Sea. Okay, so a lot of these countries, you can see it here, it's a big disputed area between all of them. It's mainly about fishing rights, I assume. Oh, so it's oil and fishing rights. Interesting. So Russia has some quite big disputes in comparison. Okay, so this actually would be claimed by Georgia. But yeah, that was the whole 2006. Was it 2006? I think it was 2006. There was a lot of wars about this between Russia and Georgia. So yeah. Transnistria, which sees itself as de facto the last part of the Soviet Union. South Ossetia, which belongs to Georgia, but I guess Russia wants it. And what's this? Oh, there's a space launch facility. It's in the middle of Kazakhstan. It is leased by the Kazakh government to Russia. Wow, costs 150 million annual rent price. Okay, so I guess these two countries aren't happy, but I mean, Kazakhstan is at least getting kind of a nice deal out of it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a horrible deal. Yeah, this one here will cause some controversy, but let's look at China, which has a lot of claims. Obviously, there's some very, very big ones. Yeah, a lot of border disputes with India. So, Arunachal Pradesh is still counting to India right now. I mean, yes, the whole region here is super disputed here between Pakistan, India, and China. Yes, just look all of the region here is just heavily disputed between all of the three. You just click around and everybody somehow has claims. Then obviously China has the whole South China Sea thingy in here around Philippines, you know, Vietnam, in Malaysia, where they claim a lot of islands here. So if you just look here, if I click, okay, they somehow want Bhutan as well. China has kind of an expansive policy, but they build a lot of artificial islands around here to be able to claim it as China. Probably having to do with sea routes and fishing and oil. What for example? What's about India? What's with them? Is the main claim? Yeah, main fights was with China, but also some Pakistan. Which I mean, no wonder after the civil war when the Raj split apart, you know, between Pakistan and India and Bangladesh. Yeah, a lot of everything. The whole Kashmir region is a very, very, very hot area. What does Australia claim? Oh, they claim islands. Timor Gap and the Ashamor Reef. Okay. Oh yeah, I think that actually would be in the sea area of Timor-Leste, but they just go and fish here for super cheap treaties and basically being scumbags. Australia. GB. What could GB have fights over? Obviously the Falklands, we all know about that one. Rockall Island. Oh, again, this is a fishing disputes thing. Gibraltar, we should all know about this in the Chagos archipelago. Between Mauritius and United States. Okay, Mauritius is kind of... It's a tiny island here, and they want this island here. Perhaps to do with fishing rights too? I'm not sure. Complicated things. I would find it interesting to see. Spain probably only has Gibraltar. Oh! Way more. Oh yeah, obviously. Spain was Gibraltar, Ceuta, Melilla. All these little parts of land here. Here, Ceuta, Melilla, you can see it here very closely. If we look at Spain, this whole region is kind of contested. They have parts of Africa which belong to Spain, which Morocco claims, obviously. And there is even some rocks here. Obviously, Gibraltar's a big heat. I guess Portugal and Spain fight over Olivenza. But I think now, de facto right now, it is Spanish as far as I know. Greece. What was Greece? What do they claim? Okay, the Aegean Sea is obviously a big disputed area between the Turks and the Greeks. They're both at least trying to get it resolved. What was Turkey? Turkey probably has... only have their Aegean Sea. I thought there was like a Syria thing still going on about this region here, but I guess not. I really wonder who the nation with the most disputes is. So now it looks a bit like the US or Russia. Okay, so Japan, again, islands, again having to do with their past, their colonial past. South and North Korea is probably just going to be the United. Okay, yeah. Obviously, South and North Korea both kind of want to be Korea. And the Sea of Japan here. Who does, for example, Brazil have disputes with? Just Brazilian island. What is this? There's a tribe point with Argentina, which both of them claim, and it's called Brazilian island. Even though, is it really an island? Oh yeah, it is a tiny island here. Yeah, okay. Pretty small dispute. Oh, wasn't there like a super fun dispute between France and Spain? Oh, they don't show it. There's like a tiny little island between France and Spain which switches sides every year. That'd be cool that they would have showed that, but I guess it's not relevant enough. Greenland. Hans Island. Between Denmark and Canada. Isn't this an island where they leave? Is this one or is it Rockall where both of them leave each other? No, wait, it's Hans Island where Canada and Denmark usually just, or the Greenlandians leave each other a bottle of like alcohol there each year. They always put a new flag up and then they put like a bottle. It's kind of, there's some very fun ones. I assume Cuba is Guantanamo. Yeah, it's Guantanamo. So wait, Guantanamo. So Cuba deems it illegal what's happening in Guantanamo Bay, and the US sends them a check of $4,085 a month. That's nothing. I mean, Russia paid like Kazakhstan 100 million for that. I mean, it's a space launch thing, but still. And then Cuba doesn't check it in because it's protesting the illegal occupation. Interesting that Paraguay has no disputes because they had like a three-party war between Bolivia, Argentina and Brazil where all of them teamed up in Paraguay and that they aren't claiming anything anymore. So maybe those learned their lesson. What about Africa? For example, Egypt. Who are they disputing with? Okay, there's a dispute between Egypt and Saudi Arabia about an island here. And here it's about a piece of land. Oh, that's quite a big thing. Oh, it's about the British. It's about the British being there and the borders after they left. It's like a whole region which is mainly controlled by Egypt. But Sudan wants a piece of the pie. Chad, just being a Chad, standing all over these border disputes and just being there. Swaziland and South Africa. South Africa, no, actually Swaziland wants more land here. I guess. What about the Republic of Congo? An island between them and Uganda, okay. And Rwanda and Burundi is probably, yeah, that's a pretty obvious one. That's, yeah. Oh, interesting, they dispute over an island which changed, or a farm area which shifted its course after heavy rains. Oh, what? This is bizarre. If somebody ever finds out what's going on here, please tell me. This is just bizarre. Yeah, obviously this region will have a lot of border disputes. I'm not going to go too much into it. What's the Netherlands, for example? Bird Island. So it's a part of Venezuela nowadays, but it used to be part of Netherlands, which want it back, I assume. So Venezuela is claiming all of this as Guyana. Ooh, Chimama. That's a lot of claimed area. Just imagine Guyana will accept and their country will be just more than halved. Yeah, the whole Ethiopia thing with Eritrea, they had a lot of, some bad blood between them. So this area is pretty disputed. Obviously Somalia and Somaliland is a big thing. De facto right now Somaliland is like just governed by itself but not recognized as such. So there's a lot of very, very interesting border disputes around the world. Tell me if you learned something now. I wish you a nice day. Hope you don't start a border dispute yourself. And bye bye. Special thanks to the Patreons: Crimson, Dan Duitman, Demon234-100, Lonely, Rock Bruman, Alex Savage, Austrian HD, Donna Happy Cow, James Meredith, Joe Mama, Jonas Becker, Renegade Samurai, Roy Luck, Celine Bilko, and Timor for being amazing.